Same old thing. You know, he's at a small school and he ain't playing against anybody, which is fine. Still dominated. Losers gather, they no longer talk of whether Indiana has a new state bird.
Hey. Let's get it. We back. Appreciate everybody that been coming to the channel and liking the videos. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that button. Silly. Don't waste no time. Go ahead and do it right now. Exactly. Thank you so much. I already know you did. But somebody in the comments told me to check out the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird documentary, Courtship of Rivals Basketball. We're going to check this out. Unfortunately, this video is an hour and 30 minutes long, and I don't want to have y'all sitting here watching me doing some commentary on the video that's an hour and 30 minutes long. So we're going to watch a good 20 minutes of it, and we're going to come back with probably 6 or 5 parts. About 5 parts. And be sure to like all the videos, but if you don't, I still thank you for coming and watch. Like I said, it's your boy DtaeNoDinero. I appreciate you coming to the channel. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. But let's get to it. I don't want to talk y'all heads off.
They talk about it every day, somewhere. If I go to a foreign country, magic, what magic? It's the same everywhere.
Best friends. Friends who love each other. Friends. Hey, you know what? I used to like that TV show that used to come on when you ain't got cable. Friends. I used to like that show. R.I.P. to the dude that died too, as well.
We don't have to say hello. We don't have to call each other.
That's my main competition. It's always been like that.
I really love their friendship, bro. From rivals to friends, it's crazy.
You got this tight bond with this cat, and
Just look at Magic, like,
you
man,
don't have to see him for a year or two,
there's nothing I can do about this dude.
but you're always gonna be linked to him.
Always linked, ain't it? Legends, bro. I idolize them
We
now.
got this connection. It's never going to be broken. I mean, right to our graves. They'll be talking about this 100 years from now.
Yes, they will. Yes, we will. We'll always be talking about Larry Legend and the great Magic. I'm kind of excited right now, but y'all don't know. I'm going to get into it a little bit later. Let's watch the video, though. Michigan Spartans,
in Salt Lake City,
hometown.
on the night of March 26, 1979. It was the NCAA championship. Indiana State versus Michigan State. A game that still ranks as the highest rated college final ever on television.
Wow.
A game that's now remembered as a prologue to a rivalry that transformed a sport and intertwined two legacies. But on that night, March 26,
The Bird may score, but the
1979,
Magic does
the
more.
first
That is
time
crazy.
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird ever went head-to-head on a basketball court. They were simply two young men trying to win a very big ballgame.
Spring Valley High School, Everett High School.
My life, and I just feel like
Shout out to them
I'm
high schools.
representing not only myself, my team, but we're representing our school and our town of Terre Haute.
Well, it's a dream come true, really, for me. I won the state title back in my home state, and then my next accomplishment was going to the NCAA and playing in a game like tonight in the finals.
Man, somebody said I look like Magic Johnson, man. What y'all think? Drop that in some in the comments.
Compete. But only one of them had been groomed for the spotlight.
I just need braces.
In his case, it seemed since birth.
I think his upbringing in East Lansing really put that smile on his face in the beginning, and it
Lansing.
never came off.
Born August 14th, 1950.
What? He a Leo.
Irvin
I was born
Johnson
August
grew up in
26th.
Lansing, the gritty industrial capital city of Michigan. Raised under this little roof, he was one of Christine and Irvin Johnson Sr.'s 10 kids. Christine
10.
was a school custodian, while Irvin Sr.
They was
worked
getting
2
busy.
jobs nearly around the clock.
My father, he got up early every morning, 6 o'clock or so, and he went to work on his trash hauling truck every single day.
Okay.
Around noon, he would come home, catch a nap, and then he worked for General Motors for 30 years.
Okay.
He won an award for never being late and never missed a day.
Shout out to Pops.
Irvin displayed his own strong work ethic on the blacktop.
I was out there all day long. Before we went to school, the bus leave at 7:30. I was out there at 6:30 working on my game. My mother sometimes had to bring me food, or she would have one of my brothers and sisters go get that boy so he could eat something.
From a very young age, Irvin knew what he wanted to do.
He wanted to hoop.
He had it all planned out.
My dreams were to play in the NBA and become a businessman.
Hello?
Neighborhood basketball powerhouse, Sexton High.
I knew the players, I knew the tradition. I wanted to be a part of that.
Where was
Then it
Irvin at? Hold
the
on.
west side of town, which was
Had it all planned out.
Let's see where Magic at. Can y'all identify Magic?
and become a businessman.
The first neighborhood basketball powerhouse,
Let's see. I don't see Magic out there, man. Man, he had an afro, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, Irvin, he maybe could have been 41. I think he was 33? Drop some in the comments, man. I'm curious.
Sexton High.
I knew the players, I knew the tradition. I wanted to be a part of that. And it was on the west side of town, which was at that time predominantly black.
But when Lansing, like many cities in the mid-70s, began busing to desegregated school system, Irvin's journey took an unexpected detour to a predominantly white school across town.
My first day at Everett High School was my first time I really had to understand there was a race problem. Nobody white would speak to anybody black, and nobody black would speak to anybody white.
A lot of racial tension, a lot of fights, rioting. They didn't want minorities there.
He kind of shrugged it off, and basically his attitude was, okay, well, I'll overcome this.
Whenever there was any racial problems,
He was definitely number 33.
would get Irvin and go talk to these kids. I can just see him with his big hands. Calm down, just calm down. He'd break up fights.
Talk with his friends, tell him, let it go. We can't fight about everything. Let's just chill. Let's play basketball.
And there was no dispute over Irvin Johnson's ability to play ball. His talent was so great that soon after his varsity debut, a local reporter, dazzled by his exploits, gave the budding star a nickname.
In the
Magic.
beginning, I thought it was foolish and dumb. I didn't know nothing about a nickname. Then what happened was, you start saying, wait a minute, it fits my game. Hanging out with my boys on the street corners, we used to sing Temptation songs.
Magic.
They started saying, hey man, Magic, that's cool. And then people on the street start saying, hey Magic. And I said,
And it stuck with him. He was number
To
32.
it, and I think he felt he had to kind of live up to that name. And I must say that he did.
And shout out to whoever told me to watch this documentary. I appreciate y'all.
Oh, he wanted attention from anybody he could get it from.
Yeah, it does. I really love the game, and I just want to win.
Gets it over and back, and he jams it through. Irvin Johnson.
Irvin loved to dress.
Yes,
Nice
they
Sanderbelt
fly.
pants and overcoats with the fur around the collar. Always had to have his afro blown out. He had to look the part, play the part.
Irvin was the first guy to have a posse. A posse of a lot of black kids, a lot of white kids hanging around him.
some of my white friends was like, hey man, we're having a kegger tonight, won't you come on by? And I said, what's a kegger? So he said, well, what it is, we get this big keg of beer, and you just go for it. Okay, well, what time does the kegger start? Because regular party time in our neighborhood is 10, 11 o'clock. The kegger starts at 7. I said, the party starts at 7 o'clock? Okay, man, I'm going to come to the kegger.
Hey man, just for anybody out there that want to invite me to a kegger, go ahead and invite me. I'm open. Just go ahead and send me the address. You can email it to me. you can inbox me on one of my social media sites. But if you want me to come to your cager and go crazy and do some chug, I'm on it. Just send me the location. I'm on my way. Your boy DtaeNoDinero's on his way.
A good time.
Silly.
The music was kind of bad, but we had a good time.
His senior year, Johnson did at Everett what he had planned to do at Sexton.
Oh, he was going
win the
crazy
state
in high school,
championship.
for sure.
And when it came to choosing a college, he decided to stay where the love would be assured. Home in
Michigan
Lansing.
and Lansing.
Next year I will be attending Michigan State University.
Shout out Michigan State, man, for having one of the greats there.
At MSU, Magic's star quickly went national. But atop the college game, he soon discovered a certain presence beside him.
Bird, it's the Bird Show. Can never
First
forget
time
that.
I saw Larry Bird was actually in a magazine.
It's crazy when you. My bad. I know I'm doing some extra talking here. It has nothing to do with the video, but still, though, I just gotta say it. It's crazy when you talk about magicians, right? Magicians, magic, and what do? They're notorious for digging in the hat and pulling out the bird. I just had to say it. Hey, drop a like for the video, silly bit.
Saw his stats. Blown away by his stats. But let's see if he can really do it.
That's my
against
dog, Larry.
us. And that's always a mindset of black players if he's a great white player.
In 1978, after his freshman year, Magic would quickly find out, when both he and Bird were chosen to play for Team USA in the World Invitational Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
They would put Larry Bird and I on the same team together to scrimmage, right? It was blowing my mind because he's dominating Jack Givens, Player of the Year in college basketball. Larry Bird is eating him alive.
Excuse me. Sorry.
I couldn't wait to call home
Hey.
to tell my boys. Man,
Chopping dimes too.
this dude named Larry Bird is for real.
Oh,
This is
dimes.
the baddest white dude I've ever seen in my life.
I would have loved to play with
I
Larry
thought he was
Bird.
very good. There's no question about it. I thought he's probably the best guard on the team.
Irvin Johnson.
Oh my God!
We didn't get to play a lot, but you could tell.
I think our first game was in Kentucky. We got about a 10, 12-point lead. And they put us in. Went to 25, 30, just that fast.
Fast break again. 3-on-2. Griffith. And that's near.
Hold on now.
Bird.
Take us out, the lead go back down, put us back in,
That's Bird and Johnson.
the show start again.
When you play with Magic, there's just something about it. You want to make that extra pass. You want to get that rebound and start to break.
We came down a couple times. I go behind my back, no look to him. He no look back to me. I'm laying it up. I'm saying, oh man.
Here's that last play. Magic
Hey.
going in, drops off to Bird. Bird puts it back off inside to Johnson.
Play easy points, man.
This guy got game.
Got real game. That's my boy Bird right there.
Wonderful moments on the court, but they probably spoke to each other 4, maybe 5 times during that entire time period, and it was more like, hello, how are you this morning, Larry? I'm good, Magic. What'd you have for breakfast? Don't remember. Have a nice day.
But such curtness was hardly strange coming from Larry Bird, who was not only one of college basketball's best players, but also its biggest enigma.
I think he was a mystery to the extent that he wanted to be a mystery. He didn't enjoy doing interviews. He didn't go out of his way to do them. He wasn't particularly good at them. He was kind of like, hey, this is who I am. You want to know who I am? Watch the game. That's who I am.
I start to read materials that you're very quiet and you don't enjoy talking to newspaper people.
Well, you know, there's different kind of newspaper people. There's people that try to push you. You know, there's people try to get things out of you. Things don't even pertain to basketball, and them the type of people I like to stay away from.
He didn't want people
Yeah.
talking about his family. He didn't want his mother to have to deal with that, or his siblings to have to deal with that.
You got to remember where Larry came from. You know, Larry was raised in a 2 or 3 room house on a railroad track. Their family probably lived on $50 a week. He was raised tough.
Larry
One thing I want to point out real quick. I know we getting into the video, you know, the sentimental part of it, but I just want to touch this. Is that everybody got a background. Everybody come from somewhere. I know a lot of people out here, they truly believe that their life is way more harder than the next. But the truth be told is this, is that we all struggle. And once you truly accept the fact of the matter that we all struggle, you will live a better life. Excuse me. Just sitting up listening about the fact of the matter that Larry Bird came from that kind of background. It does something to me, you know what I mean? Because he's literally the greatest basketball player of all time, if not the second greatest basketball player of all time. But just, you know, when they even talk about Magic and they talk about Larry, like, you can just tell the difference in between the two. You can tell, you know, the beats, the tone of the beat changed, everything changed, because it really matters, man. It really matters that a person comes from basically nothing and turns nothing into something. Honestly, I use them as motivation to keep doing what I'm doing every day. That's why I keep coming back and watching these videos. I enjoy these videos a lot. If you enjoy these videos, please like the video. Let's try to get this video up to 15 likes. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all so much. This will be a long video, so we're going to break it down into series because it is an hour and 30 minutes long. So we're going to do 20 minutes, and we got 9 minutes left. So if you're still here, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss part 2, part 3, part 4, and possibly part 5. But other than that, let's get back into this story where they talk about Larry Bird and where he was raised at, you know, out of Terre Haute, Indiana. And thank y'all so much, man. I appreciate y'all all the time, man.
Larry Joe Bird grew up in southern Indiana, in the twin towns of French Lick and West Baden. The Valley, as locals call it, was a tough working-class area. Tiny and remote, it was one of the poorest places in the state.
I didn't know that people made millions of dollars. I didn't know that everybody had a family car. I was in my own cocoon. I was in a small town with the people I knew, and I thought I would live there for the rest of my life.
Arriving Pearl Harbor Day 1956, Larry was the fourth of 6 kids born to Georgia and Joe Bird. Early on, he and his older brothers earned a reputation around the valley.
We were always considered troublemakers. We're either fighting amongst ourselves or
that boy looked just like Larry.
Fighting somebody. Larry was always one that kind of instigated things.
If I get my brother in a fight with somebody his age, I was happy as hell because I like to see him get beat up, and that's just the way it was.
Larry, you are a demon, man. What are you talking about, bro? You used to want to see your brother get beat up? And then the way you come out trash talking to everybody and bagging it up, man, it's crazier, bro. Like, it just say a lot about your personality, man. You're quiet. But they always say that stuff about the quiet people. They crazy, man. You're crazy, guy. You're crazy. Shout out to the Bird, man.
If I got in a scrape with some kid and my brothers didn't come to my side, they knew that when he got home, my dad was going to whip him.
Larry
Joe Bird.
and Dad were best of friends. They done everything together. When my dad would go out to my grandma's house, Larry would always go with him. They'd go fishing, do a lot of things together.
But Joe Bird also had a darker side, stemming from a traumatic tour of duty in Korea.
Larry remembers waking up in the middle of the night hearing his father's blood-curdling screams from the nightmares he had had from the war. What happened to his father in the war affected his entire life.
I wouldn't wish that on my
Never
worst
able
enemy.
to quite get rid of whatever those demons were.
If anybody on this channel has been to the army, shout out to you. Appreciate you.
Steady jobs. And even when he was working, his demons would on occasion drive him to the bottle.
There were times when Joe went out with the guys and had
Take a
few
shot to
beers
that.
and the wages didn't come home that night. And that didn't happen every day. It happened once in a while, but when money is as tight as it was for the Birds, once in a while was a major problem for their family.
My mom sometimes worked late, and sometimes she had 2 jobs, but that's the way it was. I worked at school during my lunch hours, worked at the local grocery store, put up hay in the summer. I mean, if you wanted money, you had to get it on your own.
To young Larry, actions spoke louder than words.
He was very quiet, kind of hung to himself a little bit.
I saw Larry take an F in an English class because he had to get up in front of his peers and give a speech. So I won't do it. He just could not get in front of his friends and talk. He was that shy.
Of course, next thing you know, when he knew it was time for all of us together at the gymnasium, well, there he'd be. The minute he'd get a basketball in his hand, things were totally different.
He turned ecstatic.
Basketball was just, it came to me, seemed like easy. I didn't have the quickness. I didn't have jumping ability. I just thought the game out.
By
Yes.
his senior year at Springs
IQ
Valley
crazy.
High, Larry Bird had sprouted into a star. But Bird was from the Valley, hardly a hotbed of talent in the big-time world of Indiana hoops.
The first thing they say, well, they don't play nobody down there. He's from French Lick. They don't play nobody.
I think that put a chip on his shoulder, always having to prove who he was and how good he was.
He was good enough for Indiana University's Bobby Knight to come calling late his senior year.
Hey, shout out Bobby Knight.
Folks in the Valley couldn't have been prouder. Their local hero was heading 60 miles north to play ball for one of the best college teams in the land.
Yes, they were.
Once I got to IU, it didn't take long to realize that I was out of my cocoon. Had over 30-some thousand students. That I didn't have the funds. First week and a half, I thought, man, this ain't gonna work.
He left after 24 days.
Let my mother down. She didn't talk to me for 2 months. But it didn't matter what other people said. To this day, I don't care.
Back in French Lick, Bird took to working for the city, hauling trash and painting park benches. Meanwhile, by that winter, his father's demons had taken him to an even darker place.
By this point, Joe and Georgia were divorced, and he was behind in his payments to the family. The police came by, and of course they all knew him. So Joe said, hey, I need a few hours to get my affairs together before you take me away. So he called Georgia and he said, you guys will be better off without me, and I'm gonna take my life. And he put the phone down and he killed himself. He shot himself.
When Dad passed, you know, it hurt Larry. I mean, that was his best friend. He's gone now. But Larry didn't show it a lot.
He just didn't say much. You know, he just kind of held it within. I never heard him speak out about it at all.
I was mad when I heard about it, and I was madder after the funeral because I thought he sort of cut out on us during a tough time. But you know, he went through a lot in his life. He did what he had to do.
This is a message to anybody that have any kind of crazy thoughts. I just want to tell you to stick it through, stick it out. You know, life can be hard sometimes, and it can be unfair. It can be extremely unfair. But if you believe in a higher power, then you gotta know that the stuff that you go through don't break you. It make you stronger. So I want to encourage anybody that's having any hard times to keep their head above water and keep trying, keep paddling, keep swimming, because eventually you're going to get there. I want you to also dig down deep inside of you to try to realize what is it that is really bothering you. And I want you to start there. It can be, and it's a lot of times it always starts off with parents. Parenting, like getting the love that you feel like you needed as a kid. Attention. Someone could have done something to you at a young age, but dig down deep and figure out exactly what it is. And that's going to help you out a lot more. It's just sad hearing that, you know, Larry Bird had to go through his life knowing that his parent took his life right before he became a legend. That hurts. I can tell you right now, that hurts. We got 3 minutes left on this video, y'all, so please be sure to like the video. That way a lot of people can tune in and they can keep up with us on our second, third, and fourth part. But, excuse me. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for coming and tuning in. Appreciate y'all that be commenting. But let's keep going with the video. I almost dropped a tear hearing about Larry Bird losing his dad again, and it hit me hard. I didn't lose a dad, but I just know how that stuff affects a person's life when they headed somewhere. But in Larry Bird's life and circumstances, it didn't hold him down. It made him greater. So shout out to Larry for that.
If Bill Hodges hadn't been as persistent as he had been, Larry Bird might never have existed in any of our minds. I believe that with all my heart.
Me too.
I really do.
It was Bill Hodges, a young coach from Indiana State University, who convinced Bird to give college hoops another shot. So with a promise to his mom to graduate, Bird headed to Terre Haute and ISU, a school that never so much had been to the NCAA tournament.
Once I started playing, it's the same old thing. You know, he's at a small school and he ain't playing against anybody, which is fine. Still dominated.
Hey.
Now his claim to fame is just the way he plays the game. Indiana has a new state bird. It's not the Cardinal now. Hey Larry, take a bow. Indiana.
If y'all was alive around this time, man, y'all had it good,
He
man.
had led tiny ISU
The Bird is
seniors
big.
to a 33-0 record and a spot in the
Pause.
79 title game. Larry Bird had become, alongside Magic Johnson, the talk of college basketball. Just a year after sharing the court on Team USA, they were back together. And the day before the big game, Magic couldn't wait to greet his old playmate.
Indiana State was on practicing, and we were waiting in the tunnel. We got there early. I wanted to definitely say hello to Larry, you know. When they came through, it was like nobody would say nothing. I wanted to go toward him, like his guys, like made sure that he didn't say nothing. And then they kind of start snickering, like, Michigan State, you in trouble. We're going to kill you guys tomorrow.
I probably did snub him. I don't remember it, but I'm sure I did. I didn't
Can't care.
want any, you know, like I call it love fest, hugging and slapping high fives with opponent. You're there for a reason. You're there to win a game.
That just said it's on now.
He got that from his dad, for sure. Shout out Joe Bird again. Rest in peace, his soul.
I mean, let's face it, if Larry Bird were...
Hold on, dude. You was the... Dude, stop it, bro. He was the reporter.
You're there for a reason. You're there to win a game.
That just said it's on now.
He was the reporter. Look, y'all look.
Indiana State against Michigan State.
He was the reporter, dude. Look at him. It's
If
him.
Larry Bird were black and came from Chicago, it wouldn't have been as big a deal. They were polar opposites. One black, one white, one outgoing, one shy.
Yep.
That was the charm of the attraction.
Yep.
The Bird against Magic. All of the superlatives.
The Magic Show.
And believe me, all of them have been warranted.
Heading
Welcome
into
to the
tournament,
Magic Kingdom.
Magic was the bigger star, but by tip-off it was Bird, having hardly missed a shot in the semifinal, who had become the focus of fans, and more importantly, of Michigan State.
And at that note, y'all, I know it's getting good, but that's why you gotta turn your notifications on, man. You gotta turn your notifications on, cause part 2, I'm excited about part 2. I low-key want to keep the video going on. Hey, man, drop something in the comments. Drop a like if y'all want me to make it 30 minutes, man. If we could do the next video 30 minutes, we can keep it going, because I ain't gonna lie. This is a great video. I appreciate the guy that told me, or the woman that told me to do a reaction to this video, because, man, it's a lot of info. It's very informative, and I learned a lot about the Bird and the Magic in just 20 minutes alone. We exactly at 20 minutes, too, so... You know, I told y'all we're going to come back. We got 40, 60, and then one more. So that's 4 more videos. So be sure to turn your notification bells on so y'all don't miss out. It's your boy, DtaeNoDinero. If you're new to the channel, please like the video and subscribe. Everything that you do is much appreciated over here. Even if you want to give me a super thanks. Yeah, Robert De Niro style. Even if you want to give me a super thanks, I appreciate it. But in the meantime, don't let me talk y'all heads off. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And we out. Silly. Peace.